Alright, so as I said, I'm Kirsten, and I'm here today to talk to you guys about student conferences and their benefits and what they are. So imagine a scenario. You're sitting at a desk waiting for your teacher to pass back a big assignment that you worked on. And you're pretty excited. You think you did a good job, you worked on it really hard, you studied a lot. But then you get your paper back, and you notice two things. Number one, that your grade is substantially lower than you expected. And number two, that there's red marks written all over it. And so you sit there thinking, what is my teacher talking about? What does she mean I didn't use the correct examples? What did I do wrong? And then you look at these notes that your teacher is writing, and you don't agree with half of them, and the other half you can't even read because you don't know what the writing is supposed to say. How many of you have experienced something like this in your life? All right, see. So that's definitely a problem, and student conferences can combat this problem. What a conference is a 15 to 20 minute session with one student and a teacher. And during the conference, the teacher grades the paper or assignment and explains to the student what happened. So the paper was not already graded, they grade it right in front of them, and the student can see directly what the teacher is thinking when they're grading it. So according to Barbara Fassler, if a teacher is skillful at this, the student will witness firsthand how clumsy sentences can make the reader stumble and what causes eyes to backtrack. So students can see in real time what it's like to read their work and what their mistakes really mean in the context of grading. Also, the teacher cuts down on the red marks that they write on the paper because those can be really one-sided, like the teacher writes it down but the student might not exactly understand what the teacher was saying. Also, the teacher can be more positive about their remarks than they can just write them. And the student is treated as an individual. According to Julie Sharp, the student's mind is actively engaged when the instructor focuses directly on them. So they're not being talked to in a group of 25. They're their own person, and they're being told their individual mistakes, which also cuts down on boredom because they don't have to listen to the problems of everyone else in the class. It's just what they did wrong and what they did right. So student conferences do more than just help students understand their mistakes. They also benefit teachers. It's not a secret that teachers can spend hours grading and assessing papers every day, and that time could be used a lot more efficiently. It could be used for their family or even just to come up with better lesson plans to use in their classrooms. So when you use a conference to grade, all of the grading is done in the classroom. So when the teacher goes home, they have more time to do what they need to do at home instead of having to work on grading. Also, it cuts down on distractions in the classroom. So a teacher can grade someone's homework and explain to them what they did without having to worry about what kids are doing off in the corner, who's talking, who's writing on their desks, and it's more one-on-one. And they get to see the student that they're talking with. They can see how they're learning and if they're learning, and they can see that light bulb moment when the student finally understands the concept that's being explained to them. And that's really rewarding for most teachers because, like a lot of you said, that's why you're going to teach to see children learn, to see the light bulb. Yeah. Also, it lets the teacher spend less time writing down mistakes and more time explaining them and helping the student to learn and actually teaching. Sharp says that it is easier and more efficient to talk about complex problems than to write about them. Lastly, teachers receive more feedback from the student. Both the teachers and the student learn a great deal in the conference from each other, and this in turn makes for a greater respect of the student and the teacher, and also as the class as a whole. And generally, when students respect and understand a teacher and the given subject that the teacher teaches, they're more willing to learn and more engaged in class time. So in conclusion, if you want to make use of your time as a teacher and in and out of the classroom, and you want your students to be more engaged and to understand their mistakes and use them in their life, then student conferences are the way to go.